Hello. I'm going to answer some questions for this very special questions and answers video. But first, he's a kitty. This is a very good kitten. Yes. Don't leave me. What is the attitude of Swedes to expats? Expats being people who aren't born in Sweden, living in Sweden. Generally positive, but I just have a theory. It's not my own original theory. That if you have an experience of people hating you and hating places you go to, that's going to be your experience everywhere. And if you have an openness to laugh at yourself, like in learning a new language and just being positive and upbeat, you're going to have a positive, upbeat experience. And that's been my impression all over the world, basically. Good impressions because I have good expectations and I like people. I know it's a simple way and it's not like across the board, but yeah, it's worked thus well for me pretty well. You sure you don't want to be with me, baby? Are you sure? Kira. Carlson! Impressions of food. Swedes, especially on Gotland, this is where I've had the majority of my Swedish experience, like the meat and potatoes. And lots of different kinds of herring. And there's like the 3 big holidays. Christmas, Easter, Midsummer. You have meatballs, prinskorv, these like little mini hot dogs. Taste so good. Potatoes. It's not fancy. One thing that was a bit odd for me, I think, in the beginning was blood pudding, which is, it's like you get it, you buy it in like things like this, you put it in cut it into slices and you fry it and you eat it with lingonsylt, which is like a kind of jam, but it's not super sweet. I also learned to really love caviar, but not like Russian black caviar, but just regular caviar. It comes in tubes. I like to put it on hard bread called knäckebröd and put cottage cheese on top of that, and it's got a lovely salt and creamy crunch. It's very nice, very nice. Is the Swedish language difficult? Can Swedes speak English? A lot of Swedes can speak English well, but there are Swedes who are just really don't feel confident about it and they really just prefer Swedish. Pretty much anyone that's like 40 plus is pretty good at English, and maybe like some parents and grandparents can get by in English, like from vacations and things like that. And like great grandparents are usually not speaking as much English, this much older generation. But like even little kids are speaking really good Swedish, really good English because of like YouTube and video games and computer games and things.
Svenska är inte så svårt att lära, men det hjälpte att jag pratade tyska först, för tyska och svenska är lite nära ibland. Men jag vet jag gör många fel, så jag är glad att så många fina svenska människor har tålamod med mig. Så det är svårt att säga, är svensk svårt? Franska, det är en svårt språk. Så svensk är bättre än den.
Why did I pick Sweden? Because my husband is Swedish and we wanted our kids to be raised here and have a good education system and have free university and much better health care and just a million other reasons why Sweden is a lot better than America. Carlson, tell him to come here. He must obey his mother. I am your mother! Do you remember that?
Your mother knows best.
Morton,
listen to your mother.
Morton, do you remember that Saturday Night Live sketch with Fred Armisen and what's his face? Like Troy Bolton, what's his name? This is my boy. I am your mother! Did you remember that one?
I remember that.
Gino's Pizza Rolls commercial, take 1.
Gino's Pizza Rolls, they're the best.
It's way better than what she usually makes.
am your mother!
And then Fred Armisen's, you know, dressed up like a mom, and she was like, "Hey, I am your
Mother!
Where's the kids?
I don't know what that was. What's the weather like? Oh no. How did it feel to acclimate to Sweden? It's such a complicated thing because I didn't just acclimate to Sweden. I'd been in a bunch of European countries and a few African countries, and I'd been in a bunch of different languages and a bunch of different cultures. So when I came to Sweden, I was acclimating to a normal life, not traveling. I was acclimating to being a mom, a first-time mom of twins. And it's not like, oh, I didn't have anything to compare that to. It wasn't like, oh, one kid would have been easier. This was our normal. This was all that I knew. So I don't know how it felt to acclimate to it. It was lonely. I was thankful though. I was so thankful to be here, that we didn't have a $1 million bill for our 6-week stay at the hospital, that our kids were taken care of. And I made that decision from early on that I was going to not make a fuss about paying taxes, considering how much of a blessing it was to not have this bill hanging over our heads. Weather. Well, it's usually pretty, you know, cold in the winter. We have all the seasons. Beautiful and crisp in the fall, warm and hot and lovely in the summer, and going to the beach. And I've had a lot of vlogs over the last 3 years of the seasons. We didn't have any snow or moisture in March, and now it's April 2022 and we're having all this snow. So but I'm happy to have the snow because we need moisture. We don't want to have another drought time where it's really dangerous for the farm animals out there. Oh, and in the spring, beautiful, beautiful spring flowers. Oh, I just love it. It's a gorgeous place to live, and the weather is never like super extreme. It's never like, it's very moderate for the most part. Next question. How do I stay motivated to make videos? Well, with my podcasts, it's really that I have this sense of just like justice that propels me forward, and wanting to tell the truth, and wanting to put perspectives out there that I'm learning from, that other people can follow the journey and learn to be more compassionate, loving people with me as I'm exposed to more different kinds of people and their stories. And I put on my channel what resonates with me, what means something to me, towards making the world a better place. And there's a lot of motivation that comes with that. With my vlogs, it's like a sense of play and fun in saving beautiful memories and sharing from struggles, documenting life, and having something to look back on that I'm proud of. Not necessarily for how well it was done, but that I've kept creating and kept putting myself out there. And it's also super motivating to me when I share out of my struggles and challenges, and especially like struggles of the mind, you know, like dealing with negative thinking, when other people send encouragement or say that they feel the same way and that they feel encouraged. Building community, that is a huge, huge motivation to keep going, and just investing in the wonderful people that leave wonderful comments and share and tell their stories. And that's just such an awesome, it's such a gift. Do I ever mix up my kids? Yeah, I do. I mix up my kids. Sometimes I will look between them and be like, okay, say something. Okay, you're Amelia. No, I'm Eleanor. Just kidding. And then she laughs really hard too, like, I knew you were kidding. And I was like, yeah, I was totally kidding. But it's getting easier in a lot of ways to tell them apart because their personalities, because of just the way that the way that their eyes shine, the way that the energy that they carry into the room, the tone of the voice. It just gets easier and easier, but I still make mistakes sometimes. This is a much better angle. Yeah, my pristine house. Next question. Do I have a bucket list? There's some things that I'd really love to do. I'd love to go to Asia, all over, just eat a lot of food. Go to Japan, eat a lot of sushi. I'd love to go in a hot air balloon. I'd love to go up in a little airplane too. Oh, that'd be scary. In a helicopter. I want to go in a helicopter. I know it sounds weird, but I'd really love to be there when someone gives birth. Like, to actually be there when it happens and actually see it. Like, I'm still annoyed that I didn't actually see the placenta when my kids were born. Like, this is a fascinating thing in the umbilical cords. Like, this was inside of my body. This was a whole organ that grew alongside my kids. And I want to see it. I'm curious. And just to see, and because I had a C-section too, it was a totally different experience from a normal birth experience. But I don't want to minimize it because a lot of us C-section moms feel like our births weren't real, even though they were. But to be there and actually see it go down would be really, really cool. Maybe that sounds weird. I don't care. I don't care. Okay, I asked a whole bunch of interesting questions. What is something that you don't know about me that I wish that you knew? I mean, I'm such an open book. I think I'll have to come back to that one. If I think of something, I don't know. Favorite foods, man. I mean, pasta is just a very high on the list. I really love sushi. I really love sweet and sour chicken and rice and steak. I really love sushi. It's so much fun to eat with the chopsticks. And why do I love it? I just love food. I want to have all the food. I love foods that have a lot of different flavors, and as you chew them, it just continues to taste interesting. This is a fascinating answer. Oh, this is an easy question. What is my most precious memory? That is the memory of when my kids were born, of having a C-section feels so weird. If you want to check out a video where I tell this story, it's called Dear Colleen Ballinger, and it was like my one so far like viral video. It's at 13,000 views, which is like 12,550 more than normal. But just the feeling of laying back, having my arms kind of held in place, crying because of joy, not because of pain or discomfort, and seeing them seeing my babies held up, seeing what they looked like for the first time, and just crying with so much relief and joy, and just saying, baby, baby, baby. That is definitely my most precious memory. Just both times, both kids just being so equally delighted and overwhelmed with joy, just not even being able to say anything other than baby, baby. Oh, my kids. And if I had only known now, if I had known then how amazing they would be, I had no clue. If I were cheese, what would I be? I don't know. Probably Probably a smelly one. I really love camembert. I miss France. I miss eating cheese and wine and feeling all fancy. Last question. If I could have any superpower, what would I have? And why? Probably. What would it be? And why? I would have the power to transport, but not just 10 feet, you know. I would, anywhere in the world, just be able to go anywhere and be able to visit any place, eat any kind of food, visit old friends, make connections with people. Just, yeah, transportation. To make it simpler than a superpower, I would just have a TARDIS, so that I would be able to have unlimited time to do all the things and a way to go all over the world and universe and space and time. Come to me, my cat son. Thank you, my cat boy. He likes it when I do this. Carlson. There he is, being all cute. Carlson. You broke my heart. Anakin, you're breaking my heart. I am your mother. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you will continue to follow along the podcasts. If you haven't already, they're really worth a listen. I know that they're not everybody's a podcast person, but they're really great to just listen to. You don't have to watch them while folding laundry or doing dishes or just things that you don't need your total brain power for, but it's nice to have your brain active. Just gonna keep making fun vlogs that I enjoy, that just come from a real place. I wonder if you can hear the cat eating over there. It's like they're very delicate, just like me.
I would love to hear you answer the question. I'd like you to answer the questions in the comments. What's your favorite food? What cheese represents you, etc., etc. And this was fun. Thanks for hanging out.
Hugs and nostrils of death.
I am your mother! I'm your mother! I gave birth to you!
This is pretty much the
Best.
video ever made.